I'm the voice of Night Industry 2000's microprocessor, KITT for easy reference, KIT if you prefer.
It's all about Knight Rider when I have the huge pleasure of talking to Rebecca Holden. We also know Rebecca as April Curtis in Knight Rider, Kit's skilled technician and mechanic. I met Rebecca back at SKA in 2022, Mark Pewett's brilliant convention. I had the chance to sit down and talk with her, and later we also did a Return to Cadiz commentary. Today we're going to talk about what I would call the greatest of April Curtis. We're going to dive into some of the most memorable scenes, and I hope you enjoy this interview. And do remember that Rebecca is such an asset for our hobby. She attends conventions and interacts with fans. So huge respect to her for doing this and promoting the Knight Rider hobby. Enjoy this interview, lean back, I hope it'll be fun. Can you hear me?
I can hear you just fine. Can you hear me?
I can hear you, Rebecca. Welcome.
Oh, you can hear me, yeah.
Yeah, virtual hug.
I get tickled because all these computer things, I've become pretty, proficient at it just by doing so many of these type of interviews. But
Yeah.
I always say April was a computer expert. I just played one on TV.
Yeah, that's nice. That's nice.
So
Rebecca.
So we're all connected.
Yeah, exactly. Thanks so much for taking time to do this. Yeah, it's
it's my pleasure. You know that it is, and you're such a sweetheart. And we have had the privilege of meeting in person several times.
Yeah,
but we're a long distance away, and now from our hometown. So it's nice to meet.
Yeah, it's
via
so
the internet and get to catch up.
Yeah. Let's get rolling. Now we're getting serious. This first scene is actually well, I think it's the first time we see you on screen as April. Oh, sorry. Yeah. Okay. Of course that had to happen. I'll just rewind it here and we'll do it all over again. Okay. The first scene here is I think the first scene where we see you as April. Now you're in the picture here. Michael is talking, or David is talking to you and Edward through this monitor. But I would guess that this would be a very normal scene for you to do in the studio, where you would just look into a normal camera.
Yeah, we were in the studio on a set right there. Just the office was one of the regular sets that we filmed on. That's right.
Yeah.
And although this is the first scene of, I understand it, that you see April, it was not the first scene that we had shot. So
exactly, that was from Return to Cadiz, as I remember.
Yes, we were out on the beach.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. We
and I came out in those little pink shorts.
Exactly. We went through that.
Go ahead.
Yeah, we went through that in our commentary of that episode. Fantastic memories. Yeah.
It was. Yes.
Yeah. So you can see here you're talking to Devon. How was it being on stage and doing Knight Rider on the Universal stages?
Well, I had worked at Universal quite a bit before on other shows, so it was home territory, and I was very comfortable there. And of course, in the very first episode, all the cast and crew made me feel so welcome and such a part of the team.
Yeah.
And so it felt lovely. It was a great working experience, and being on the set there in the office, I felt like we were just right there at the Flag Foundation, fighting
Yeah.
for justice.
Yeah. The next
You know,
scene is like,
it reminds me. Speaking of justice, I'm here at my piano at the church where I play every Sunday that I'm in town. I play the music for all of our church service, and I usually sing a solo every Sunday as well. And this morning we were talking about the sermon was actually on the wheats and the tares. You know, that's the parable
yeah,
about the wheat and the tares in Matthew, where we are reminded that the wheat, which are the believers, and the tares, which are the weeds, or the unbelievers. That's the symbolism there.
yeah,
Are
yeah,
will coexist, and there will be evil in this world and evildoers in this world until such time as Jesus comes back and God decides, okay, now we're going to uh, burn the weeds and gather the wheat into
yeah,
the barn, which
yeah,
symbolizes, of course, heaven and hell. And so it reminded me that you know, Glenn Larson told me before he died, he said, Rebecca, I created a morality play about good and evil. And it's very clear that the good guys win. And I think that provides such a great security for young viewers, to know there will always be consequences for evil. The evil does exist here with us, but we are able to trust and have confidence that God's grace is sufficient. And, we can take comfort in knowing that He does have a plan and there will ultimately be justice. So in the meantime, while the tares are coexisting with us here on Earth,
yeah,
Michael Knight and Devin and April are fighting for justice.
yeah. Exactly, exactly. And that is probably also what makes the show still resonate today.
And that's why I agree with you, Jacob, that parents such as yourself who have young ones to bring up in this world and to raise them in a world where evil does exist. How do we protect them? How do we prepare them for this world out there?
Yeah, yeah,
And I think from what I hear from so many of the fans, parents enjoy watching these shows with their children where the
yeah,
lines of good and evil are so clear. You know, we're living in a day and age when those lines have blurred somewhat,
exactly.
and it's so nice to have those simple times when it was so clear, and children have a sense of security in that. I think when they know where the boundaries lie, and
Yeah,
and these shows that did make it clear spark conversation and discussions. You with parents and children. It gives them something, a plot to discuss, a
yeah,
situation,
yeah,
circumstances that would come about in their lives, situations they may face, and that sparking of discussion, bringing communication between parent and child is a wonderful thing. And I
yeah,
think a lot of the parents that loved this show growing up, and it meant something to them and they valued it, they're enjoying sharing those times, reliving those times, but also as a way to passing those values and those principles on to their children.
yeah, yeah, yeah. So great. Yeah. Our next scene here is
Yes,
I don't know if you remember it. Coming out of of a limo and entering a small aircraft.
yes, I do remember that.
Yeah,
We
yeah,
we went to a private airport and they had rented a private jet and we shot on it. I'm sure it was by the hour, so we were very conscious of time.
yeah,
Let's get one take and get this done.
yeah, yeah. Would there be any more preparation for a scene like this on location than for the scenes back at the studio?
No, not really. You
No.
learn your lines, and you just go wherever they take you, and get out where they put you, and the director had his chore to do, figuring out the logistics and what his thought shot setups were going to be.
Yeah.
But we deliver our marching orders, you know.
Yeah. Okay.
We're,
Yeah.
we're told
So,
what to do, and we're our job is to hit your mark and deliver the lines.
yeah.
And it was
Yeah,
fun.
because one thing is when you read the script. Another thing is when you're at it and okay, you're gonna start by coming out of the limo, and then you're gonna go to right here, and you're gonna stand here, and you'll be here, you'll be here, you'll be here, and you'll talk, and after you've said this, you're gonna go towards the airplane, but you have to go in a straight line right here because otherwise it's so is that just part of the natural being an actor?
Well, it's mostly shot in segments. You know,
Okay, yeah, yeah.
they'll get you out of the limo coming toward, and then they may cut, and then the three of you here, and they take your marks on the ground so that you're all, and they check the lens and see that we're all in frame, and then they'll do the close-ups on each person, or
Yeah,
the
yeah,
over the shoulder shot on this one onto this character, and then once that's all done, then you'll move into the set, which would be inside the plane. So
yeah, yeah.
they select all of it, but that's all of the homework done ahead of time, so that when you get to the set, you move.
Yeah, okay, yeah. Time is
Yeah,
money. Time is
that's right.
always money, yeah.
That's right. You're always aware of that, especially in television. We
Yeah.
have so many. A lot of times you hear movies, have endless delays and go on. We
Yeah.
don't have that luxury in television. You have so many setups to get done
Yeah.
in a day, so many locations,
Yeah.
and you're shooting an hour in 7 days rather than a movie's a 1 or 2 hours, but it may
Yeah.
shoot for
Yeah.
months.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So here you are in inside, or at least I would guess it's probably a studio, but what
No, no,
at
no. We
least
were in the plane right there.
you were in the plane. Okay, so you
Yes,
used
we
the
were.
inside of the plane.
Yes, yes.
That's pretty cool. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah,
That's
yeah,
pretty fun. Yeah. Do
yeah.
you remember how much of what you did was on stage and how much was out on location?
We shot more, of course, on the set,
Yeah.
much
Yeah.
more.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Now the second unit team shot, of course, on location all the time
Yeah.
because they were doing the stunts in the car and all that.
Yeah.
But that was a
Yeah.
whole second, that was a whole separate unit from
Yeah.
us. We
Yeah.
did shoot on location. Occasionally, often, as I'm
Yeah.
reminded watching the scenes.
Yeah.
Yeah, we did more often than I had even recalled. But of course, it's always more expensive when you're out and about rather than when you're just on home base.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So right here we also see some of the first signs of you being the problem solver and having the technical insights to solve a problem and explain things to Devon and to Michael.
The guys.
Yeah, yeah. How was that taking on that role?
Well, I think from our friendship and the conversations that we've had how much I enjoyed playing April. She was a wonderful role model for young girls,
Yeah,
and she was intelligent. She was smart. There were a lot of roles in that time period that they called TNA roles. She was definitely not that. She was the antithesis of that. She was
yeah,
very principled, integrity, strong character, held her own with the guys, but she loved them and she had such loyalty to her teammates or her colleagues. But I had the most wonderful validation
yeah,
this past weekend, last week. I was in Savannah, Georgia for a giant car show there, and they had all kinds of trucks, every kind of vehicle you could imagine. And they had a lot of the Transformers there. And this lovely woman came up to me and she told me her story. And she grew up in Romania, which is a communist country.
yeah,
And she said, my mother and my grandmother had very old world values. And she said, and I was kind of the odd one because I was a girl, but I liked computers and I liked cars. And she said, so when I saw Knight Rider, she said, when I saw April, she said, see, I can do that. I can be that. And she has continued to pursue a career in computers. She works for Microsoft.
All
She
right.
works
Yeah.
in AI. And she said, and you see that big truck over there? That's my big rig. And she goes to a lot of these events while her husband stays home and babysits. And she's in her element. And she said, I proved to my mom and my grandmother that I could pursue these endeavors and I could hold my own with the guys and I could still be feminine.
Fantastic.
And
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
we just had an instant bond, of course. And I said,
Yeah.
we're friends
It's
forever. She's the sweetest person. And but it kind of validated that fact that
yeah.
April stood out in
Yeah.
in that time,
Yeah.
and it
Yeah.
was an honor to have the privilege of playing.
Yeah. Yeah. What she does today is spot on what April represents in Night
Yes.
Rider. Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I said, girl, you're the real deal. I just played one on TV. Yeah.
That's
So she's
fantastic.
a computer and a car expert.
Yeah.
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 I said, you inspire me, not the reverse. Yeah.
So our next scene is from the semi. And we have a scene where you're looking into under the hood of Kit.
Yes.
Yeah, and while you act, you have to remember all these technical terms.
Yes.
How was
Yes.
that? And also you have an almost magical connection with David. It's yeah, you two really hit it off on screen. It's yeah. So how was it acting and still remembering the yeah all the technical terms?
Well, all of those technical terms, I mean, they weren't real terms, most of them. They're just made up words and made up gadgets. And the funny thing is that many times I would get in makeup, at 5:30 in the morning or whatever, and they would hand me all new pages because maybe
Start over.
and I had learned all this set of technical terms the night before, and then I get all new ones in the makeup chair to be on set, in
Yeah.
less than an hour.
Yeah.
And because sometimes whatever the scriptwriter had envisioned it doing, the prop guys or the set designers weren't able to make happen in actuality. So they'd suddenly do a rewrite. So
Yeah.
you never knew. But fortunately, I have a pretty good memory and a fast recall, and was able to digest it and get it in and make it look real. That's the job.
Yeah, that's fantastic. That's fantastic. So the next scene I've picked here is
Before you go on,
yeah.
I have to thank you. Yes, we had a great chemistry. We had fun. We knew that the subject matter was serious.
Yeah.
After all, lives are at stake. This is good versus evil. It's serious stuff. But we had a great time, and that little kidding and going back and forth between us, it just felt natural and felt right.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, and we had fun with the lines. And sometimes, there are lots of writers on a series like that because the volume of material is so, voluminous.
Yeah.
So there were lots of different writers, and if the writers hadn't put that in, they often didn't know the characters like we came to know them. So you have a little fun with it yourself.
Yeah. Yeah.
You have to make the lines your own.
Yeah. Fantastic. So were you often when you read scripts, did you just say, well, this is it, and this is what I'm going with, or did you sometimes feel that, okay, could we maybe twist it a bit in this direction?
Well, I always feel that as an actor, it is your job to do your homework, come prepared, learn your lines, be ready to deliver on time, show up on time. Time is money, as we said, and be willing to give everything inside of you that you bring to that role, to the set,
Yeah,
and deliver.
yeah,
But
yeah,
then, most important, you must remember that film and TV is probably the most collaborative of all the creative arts. And it's a team effort. And ultimately, it's going to be the director's vision that
yeah,
appears. So you come prepared, but flexible.
yeah.
And
Great. Yeah.
and you offer other things and other nuances. And if they work, then we're all in agreement.
Fantastic. Yeah, great. This next scene, I thought we should see it as well. It's also taking place on in Devon's office in the at the Universal Studios. I think
Mhm.
this is when Michael come in badly bruised from from his first attempt of defeating Goliath, and the reason I wanted to show you this is because this is where we yet again get the feel that you are a very, very compassionate part of this of the Foundation for Law and Government. The way you take Michael in here, I think it's great. Maybe a few words. I know we've touched upon it earlier, but maybe a few words on that part of the role as April.
Oh, I think April adored Michael. I mean, we did have our fun kidding back and forth, but there was a deep, deep love and care and concern and compassion for all three of them. It
Yeah.
was they knew they were a team and they were solid.
Okay.
So it was like we were discussing with you earlier. When your children hurt, you hurt. When
Yeah.
they have
Yeah.
joy, you have joy. When you love people, you experience the same emotions as if it were you feeling
Yeah.
it. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
So so as we see on screen here, what you are doing there is getting into Kid. Well, I think all night, all small, at least boys who watch Knight Rider was kind of thinking, well, that's my dream. Just to sit in Kit. What can be more rewarding? And you do it, Rebecca. Um,
Oh,
how was that? I know Kit to you, Kit was probably at least to some extent just a part of the show, and not as human as he was in when the finished shows aired. How would it work in this scene? I think that you talk to Kid. How would that work? Would there be another person on the stage talking to you? So you had someone to play against in that respect.
well, we all know that uh, William Daniels brought a great personality to Kit's lines. However, he was never on set with us. He came into the studio, into the looping stage, um, by alone, or if one of us had other lines to loop, we may have had our sessions booked at the same time. But he basically went in for half an hour each week. He didn't have to go through wardrobe and makeup and hair and all of those. He could just show up in casual clothes and walk in and do his lines. But he gave such a personality to Kit
Yeah,
that even though he was not there on set, we could envision how he would have said those lines. When we were actually on set, it was just the script girl. She was
yeah,
sitting on a stool near the camera, and she would read them in a monotone. So it was nothing like having him there or acting with a real character. So as she was just purely reading, uh, I imagine Kit in my mind. I I envision him and hear his voice, and that's what I react to.
yeah.
That's
Of course.
part of acting.
Yeah, yeah. How about cameras in a scene like this? I guess they will be placed very different depending on the type of scene. But you'd always know as an actor, okay, the cameras are gonna be here and here, and we're gonna act like this.
Well, it's a one camera show. So it's
Okay.
not
Yeah.
like a sitcom where you go in and you're shooting it like a stage play with 3 or 4 cameras
Okay.
around. And then you only do pickup shots after that. But as you're actually doing it on stage with a live audience, like a play, the various cameras are. We've had camera blocking before then. The cameras know exactly where they're going to be for each setup. And actually, you move from set to set in front of a live audience. And the cameras are choreographed just like the actors are. So they know exactly where they're going to be and when when the switcher is going to switch it from one camera to the other. But that's all choreographed in the camera blocking. On a show like this, it is a one camera shoot. So every time you see a close up on my face, that is shot. Usually, it's pretty much customary to do it a certain way, just because that's a routine. There are no guessing games, and you can get it done quickly. Usually, there's a master shot first that's farther back with everybody in it, and then they go to close ups. And when you see me there in the close up of my face through the driver's side window, the camera's right there. And David would be behind the camera. They would check to see where my eye line would be. So wherever he was, he would be either on the right or the left side of the camera, depending on so that my eye line was correct. And then they would switch it the other way, and they do a close up on each person, and then whatever other additional setups that they need. You may need a close up of my hand going into something or whatever that they're going to cut away to, but they're all done individually.
Fantastic.
Does that make
Fantastic.
sense?
Yeah, yeah, it did. It did. Yeah, fantastic. Fantastic. I wasn't aware that that was how it worked. So brilliant insights. Brilliant insights.
I
So
hope I made it simplified enough.
yeah, yeah.
Okay.
Okay, so here I think in this scene you get a pretty rough handle by Garth. Let's just see what happens. I think that yeah, yeah. He's knocking over Devon here, and he's pushing you around as well. Do you remember? Was that a stunt double, or was that yourself?
I don't think so. I think we did that.
Yeah,
I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm pretty physical. I'm pretty active. I'm
yeah,
pretty athletic.
yeah,
I'm no athlete by any means, but I've always been fit. And I did an action movie in the Philippines right after that, where I shot M16s. I did a bow and arrow. I did sword fighting, and we did a lot of our
that's
of our
cool.
own horseback
Yeah,
riding. Did a lot of our own stunts, but they do
yeah,
so many action movies in the Philippines that the stunt guys, the stunt coordinators, are really really good. And so
yeah,
I had complete trust in them, and the
yeah,
way they would choreograph the fights.
yeah,
Now another actor and actress, he lost his finger in one of the sword fights. So
yeah,
things can go wrong.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Of
Things
course.
can and do go wrong.
Yeah,
But
yeah,
fortunately, I've been very blessed and been
yeah,
safe throughout most of my career. So
yeah, yeah.
yeah.
Okay, here we have you're looking at under Kid's hood yet again, a moment
Mhm.
that I think many fans would be envy of. Yeah, again, we talked a bit about the technical terms. Do you remember the different types of cars that were on the show? Usually, I guess you would be when you were looking under the hood of a car or sitting in it, it would usually be the hero car or stunt cars. I don't know.
All the car that we used in the semi was had the full
Yeah,
dash
yeah. It,
and
it was it was the hero car, so to speak.
yes,
Yeah,
yes.
yeah, yeah,
They used various different cars for the stunts and so on, depending on what the stunt was. I mean,
yeah,
sometimes they had to hide the driver from
yeah,
the front or from the passenger side or from the driver's side
yeah,
to make Kit look like he was, driving by himself. And then, of course, they had all the cars that were, geared for all the jumps. So that was another car. So those cars were shot from far away, from a distance. So it wasn't necessary to have the full dash in all of those cars. But in the semi, it was definitely a necessary.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
So we're getting to Arden Villa now. One of the locations that was, I think it was only used actually in 3 episodes or so. Do you remember shooting at Arden
Yes,
Villa?
yes, it's beautiful, beautiful estate. I think it's in Beverly Hills, Bel Air area.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
beautiful. And
So
it established that, just to have it just occasionally in an episode, that gave the fans the vision of what it was, so that when
yeah,
you then were just in a set on, at the studio, they could imagine where you
yeah,
were in their
yeah,
mind.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. In that respect, it's kind of Hollywood magic as well. Yeah.
yeah,
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 you go there for 2 or 3 episodes, and
yeah,
in all the viewers' heads, it's like, yeah, we know where it is. It's this beautiful villa. So
exactly.
yeah,
And
so
of course, they only need to shoot an exterior once, if the characters aren't in there, and they can use that shot again and again.
yeah, yeah. So you also acting with
That
the
was
Edward Mulhare. Here, can you talk a bit about how it was acting with Edward?
Edward's a pro. I loved Edward, and of course I'm English Irish, uh, background as well. So we would both kid each other about our fair skin and having to wear darker makeup so we didn't look like such a contrast with David and his deep tan. Oh yeah, Edward was terrific, and
Yeah,
he was given a lot of the expository type dialogue, where he would have
yeah,
these long things, and he was very dignified, and sometimes he would get to the very end and then blow a line at the end, and then he would be so frustrated with himself. It was funny. It's funny. Yeah, he, he, he was an angel.
yeah. Great,
Hmm.
great.
We had a lot
Okay.
of fun and a lot of kidding and teasing and all in the makeup trailer, while
Yeah,
waiting between scenes, or early mornings. And yeah, he was a great guy,
yeah.
quite a gentleman, distinguished gentleman.
Yeah, yeah. That's also the impression you get when you watch the show. In that respect, he gives the show in one respect some class.
Yeah,
He does
yes.
by his
A proper word would be gravitas.
yeah, yeah,
Gravitas.
yeah,
Yes,
yeah,
yes,
yeah.
yes.
Much
And
better.
many of the fans have written, and I don't know where this came from, but many of the fans have written saying they think April was Devon's daughter, and I had never heard that before. It wasn't any of the scripts that of the shows
No.
that I participated in, but many have said, it would just be quite fitting if they ever did a movie for April to step into Devon's shoes and become the the head of the Flag Foundation.
Yeah, yeah,
Sort
yeah,
of like the female in the James Bond uh,
yeah, yeah.
movie.
Yes, yeah.
That would be fun.
Yeah, that
I
would be
wouldn't mind that
fantastic.
at all. I think April could hold her own, and I think she would do a very good job there.
Yeah, yeah.
I know
I think
her loyalty could not be ever questioned. That's for sure.
no, and I think she would also be good at telling Michael what to do and what not to do.
In a
In a
very
in
diplomatic
yeah,
manner.
it's exactly in a very diplomatic manner. Exactly.
She'd be a very kind and compassionate boss. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
Exactly.
Um,
Okay. Let's go on with the next. Here we have you in a very in a
Glamorous. Yeah,
fantastic dress, very beautiful dress.
thank you.
Um, yeah, as I recall, this is from the show with Gina Davis as well. I don't know if you
You're right.
remember. Yeah,
Yes, of course. I
yeah,
do. I
yeah,
do.
yeah,
I absolutely do. Yeah.
yeah,
And David and I got to dance in that one.
yeah. Exactly. Yeah.
Yes, we did.
So
Yeah.
did you have any saying on wardrobe in this in this type of episode or scene?
Oh, they just brought beautiful selections in for me, and I would try them on, and then I usually went with whatever the costumer felt was most appropriate for the
Yeah,
scene, and I was happy to wear whatever they brought, and it was
yeah,
I was very cooperative, and they said you're
yeah,
fun to dress, and I said, well, it's fun to be dressed and not have to make up my mind. So
yeah,
yeah, yeah. But they gave her fun clothes and fun wardrobe, and even all the mechanics outfits, were
yeah, yeah.
jumpsuits,
Exactly,
but colorful. And as you
exactly.
can tell from even the scenes that you've played here, Alan Payne was our hairdresser, and he did so many different hairstyles on me, from pigtails and
Yeah, we're gonna get to the
updos,
pigtails, Rebecca. We're
and
gonna
her
get to the
hair
pigtails.
and
Yeah,
her hair is up there on top of her head and
yeah.
updo for evening, and
It is
so
so
it's fun.
stylish.
Thank you.
Yeah, yeah. And in this scene, you actually they talk they portray you and Edward as being fiancés, as I remember.
Yes.
Yeah, I don't know
Yeah.
how much laugh that
And you
that
can
gave.
you can you can see the eye rolling there. Yeah. Yeah.
Exactly,
Yeah.
exactly.
They had fun.
Yeah, well, was there any tendency for a scene like this where things were getting yeah, in that respect a bit odd compared to the usual things? Would that usually require more takes because you probably couldn't stop laughing, or were you just 100% professional, and no matter what they threw at you, it was yeah, you would just do it.
We were 100% professional, but we were also human. And there were times I'll never forget. There were, and we're all conscious of the fact, being the professionals that we were, that time is money. Um, but we were a fun group. The whole cast and crew were fun, and we had a good time while we were working.
Yeah,
And I do remember one time where something happened, and we were laughing so hard, and we finally said, okay, let's pull it together. Okay, action. And everybody just burst out into laughter again. And and then it became really unstoppable. And so we kept trying to, everybody got serious. And as soon as they would say action, everybody would burst into laughter again. So it did happen, but you know, we're we're human, and
yeah,
we all love what we do, and so that's to
yeah,
be forgiven at
yeah,
times.
yeah. So I know that the next scene, as I remember, is from the episode Ring of Fire, and this we should maybe make it just as in this scene we just saw a tribute to Alan Payne, the hairstylist, because I think this is the scene with the pigtails. Uh, and yet another April invention.
She was a smart girl.
Yeah, yeah, it was, and yeah, it was really a trademark of April. That she was inventing new things for Michael to test off in the
Yeah.
in this episode. He's going to, yeah, to be
All more reason she should be the head of the
yeah,
foundation.
exactly. So
Inventive, creative, resourceful. All those
exactly.
things.
So yeah,
Yes,
so
there
so
are the pigtails.
So there you are, yeah, yeah. But it's a fantastic a mechanics outfit.
Thank
Yeah,
Well,
yeah,
and not thank you to me, thank you to the wardrobe
yeah,
and the costumers, that they would
yeah,
come up with those great outfits.
yeah, yeah.
That's
So
fun. Yeah.
yeah, for and again here, I think great chemistry with David, with you trying to convince him that he's going to be heated up with Kid, and Devon comes in and saves him, and yeah, well, he's saved by the bell, you could say. So and he just
That's
runs
great.
off.
That's
Yeah,
great.
um,
Oh, these are such good memories. Thank you
yeah.
for pulling up these scenes, Jacob.
Yeah,
This is
yeah. I've had a lot of fun finding them and
great.
bringing it together
They
here.
bring, they bring back very good times.
That's great. I'm happy. I'm happy to do it. The
Thank you.
next scene is very special. And I know you've talked about this before. This is
Uh,
you in Kit. So tell us a bit about this.
well, April was one of the few, besides Michael Knight, of course, who actually got to drive Kit,
Yeah.
And so I was very honored. It's not like driving your normal everyday car, I tell you, especially when you're on set and you have to hit a mark and end up in the exact spot that they have instructed you, um, so I think I didn't I didn't let the the magnitude of that moment enter my brain. I was just focused on doing exactly what I was told and ending up on the mark. And I
Yeah.
know that when they yelled cut, got it, and onward, then I knew I'd do it.
Yeah, it was perfect.
Well, one take. Yeah.
Yeah, and you are right.
I
Not
mean, it's
very
a
many.
big responsibility. Can you
Yeah,
imagine wrecking Kit? I mean, can
yeah,
you even imagine? Yeah. So
yeah.
fortunately, that didn't happen.
No. So, so here we just have a short scene as well from Diamonds Are the Girl's Best Friend, where one of the other actors is hitting on you, quite understandably, I would say. Um, how was the interaction? Because you met a lot of other actors that just came into Knight Rider for a week and then they were off again. How were you able to interact with them during a week of shooting Knight Rider?
I tried to, Jacob, because I had guest starred on so many shows before that where I was the one as guest star coming into a full cast and crew who knew each other, who were connected like family. And it's almost like being a guest in someone else's home.
Yeah,
You're there for a short time. Usually as a guest star, I would have a lot of dialogue and a large role as the guest star. But you were on, their home turf. So I knew it was what it was like coming to those situations. So when I was the home cast, so to speak, and we had guest stars come in, I tried to always be welcoming to them and greet them and make them feel at home and appreciate it.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Fantastic, fantastic. So here we have Kid almost running you over. I don't know if you remember this scene. It's raining and yeah, it's probably one of the stuntmen coming up and swinging Kid by you, um, and you
Yeah. We were going to a hospital, right?
yeah, exactly,
So
exactly.
that's why he was in a hurry.
Yeah,
Yeah, on our way to
exactly.
the
Yeah,
hospital.
yeah.
Yeah, I read that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
this is from the episode Race for Life, and you're in Kit, and well, it doesn't look as if it's very hot, but usually I think it would be. Do you remember this scene recording in Kit with cameras all over the place?
I think they had a camera mount,
Yeah, yeah,
no?
yeah,
Uh,
yeah.
Probably mounted on the outside of the camera on the outside of Kit there, and then from the
Yes,
front. Yeah.
yeah,
So then they
yeah,
changed the camera mount for the front shot for the side, so on.
yeah, yeah.
Yes.
So
Because
so
I don't think we were. It wasn't green screen behind us. I think we were on the road there.
yeah,
Again, I could
yeah.
be wrong, but I think we were shooting.
Yeah, I think you're right. You're right. It's a very small
I
part
guess
of
you can always watch the credits at the end, and if they say anything about whether it was a camera mount or not.
Yeah,
But
yeah. I think you're right. It was a camera mount because
mhm.
it's not it's very rare during the show to use the green screen.
I think you can always tell. In those old movies, they use
Exactly.
those. They
Yeah,
use
yeah,
that a lot,
yeah,
and
yeah, and
I mean, maybe if you didn't know anything about, but these days, audiences are very savvy. They've
yeah.
seen so many behind the scenes shoots that
Mm,
you're aware of how things are shot, or they're
yeah.
much more aware. But so it's not as easy to fool the public about anything anymore.
No, it's not. It's not. But I think Knight Rider did better in creating the action sense that this is actually happening than a lot of other shows at that time.
And of
At this
course, we
time,
you know
yeah,
Jack Gill is to be credited for a lot of
yeah,
the
yeah,
great the stunt work, and of course
yeah,
they were he made miracles happen quite
yeah,
often.
yeah, yeah,
And I think his body, has the suffers the consequences today with all the
yeah,
metal parts and so on that he
yeah,
has. Um, he really attempted things that were, and if you've ever heard Jack speak at one of the, events like Southern
yeah,
Nights at Mark
yeah,
Hewitt's event, and uh, Jack stayed and answered so many questions
yeah,
with the fans and about how certain things were done. But he went above and beyond. I mean, many times they asked him to do things, and he at first would think that's not possible, and yet somehow he was so willing to take the risks, never putting anyone at risk or danger, including, I mean, because it's not him only himself, but you could potentially put other people at risk too. Um, he was always concerned with safety above all, and yet
yeah,
somehow he managed to come through and make shots happen that you would have never imagined possible. So
yeah,
he deserves a
exactly.
great deal of credit.
Yeah, yeah. So we're going to a motorcycle race now.
Oh, I
You're
remember. Yeah,
you're on location with Edward and David here. Um,
we
yeah,
were.
yeah, yeah. Do you remember this? Did you see any of the bikes of the not necessarily the racing, but were the bikes driving while you were there?
I think there were. Yes. Um, I don't remember exactly what was there. I remember there being loud though, and us
Yeah.
having to walk over. Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, because in principle they could actually have done the scenes without any bikes really being there.
Mm-hmm.
So
Mm-hmm.
yeah. So we have a scene here at the end of this episode as well with you and Michael driving off and turbo boosting above Devon, and I had the chance to talk to Tom Green, who had a fantastic story regarding Edward in this scene, and Edward really didn't want to drive on this motorbike. Yeah, I don't know if you remember being there and getting into Kit and yeah, driving off with David.
I remember that last part. Yes,
Yeah,
it
yeah.
was probably a stunt guy that did that.
Yeah,
Earlier.
yeah, I'm quite sure Edward didn't
Yeah.
didn't
Yeah.
handle the bike like that.
Yeah. Right.
So
Right.
yeah, so that was at least a very funny story regarding Edward really not wanting to do it and had to be persuaded, yeah, quite massively, and then he did it, and yeah, the show ended great here.
I'm sure he came through.
Yeah,
So yeah,
exactly,
yeah,
exactly. So yeah,
made for a great scene. Oh, and that jump right there. Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
And turbo boost.
Yeah, you've done it with David. Had to do the turbo boost pushback in the
Mhm.
seats. Yeah,
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 yeah, yeah.
yeah, yeah.
You're
So
just kind of simulating it,
yeah,
that
exactly. I won't even ask you if how it was flying through the air. So
somehow the magic of Jack was that he not only was a great stuntman, but he knew how the camera worked and where to cut things and where the angle to shoot it so that you got the maximum thrill from the
yeah,
shot.
yeah, yeah,
And
exactly.
to shoot it where you got the most reality from it. And
Yeah,
that's a real skill. Yeah.
yeah, yeah,
Because
yeah,
he
and
would
that
tell the camera where it needed to be,
yeah, yeah, yeah,
or what he knew what he was going to do and where the camera needed to be in order to capture it
yeah.
from the
Yeah.
best angle. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Brilliant.
Okay, this is
Mhm.
this is also one of the scenes. It's from Goliath Returns. You have some interaction. First of all, you're in this MacGyverish scene. I think also it was Tom Green saying that this scene probably was what inspired MacGyver. You know that the TV show with Richard
Yes.
Dean Anderson,
Yes.
MacGyver. Yeah,
Yes.
and
I got
this could have been some kind of inspiration for that show,
Oh my
because
goodness, it surprised me. Yeah.
yeah, because these two guys, Edward Mulhare and, yeah, I can't remember the name of this
Yeah.
other very skilled actor. Um, they make a bomb out of really nothing, and of course you're in this too. Yeah.
I
Um,
remember we were shooting at night. I don't know why we
okay.
were shooting at night, but I remember us being late at night there. Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Was that something that happened occasionally, or was it often? Did
Not often on Night Rider. No.
Oh, no.
No. And many other shows, we would have night shoots,
Yeah.
but
Yeah. So
not often on Night Rider.
so
Yeah.
yeah. So you're just you're breaking the glass there, and yeah, and helping the guys out,
Yeah.
building a bomb. Yeah.
Resourceful, as I said.
Very
Oh,
resourceful. Yeah,
April.
we have it again. We have it again. We have it again. Michael Knight's a new boss. When they hopefully at some point do a revamp of an up to date Knight Rider. It's yeah, it's a great idea. So, but what do you remember? What was that? Was that in the Universal Studio?
Yes, that was at the studio.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah,
That's-
yeah. So yeah,
Yeah.
so so we come to
Now, some of the Garth, I know we shot in Vegas. I can't
yeah,
remember.
yeah.
We did two?
The two double episodes. This would have been the second, and it was the first one in Vegas.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, this
So
one, yeah, we were at the studio.
yeah. So here you are with David, or Garth, Garth Knight, and this is, I think, a very memorable scene because you really tell him off. I don't know how, if you remember how you mastered to bring such intensity to your play here. It's I think it's just
Well,
magnificent.
it's easy when you're with a real bad guy, because usually the actors that are playing the bad guy are, have some of that in them anyway. So
Yeah.
but David, I love David, so I had to really suspend reality to think
Yeah.
of David as being the evil twin.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, but that's the job,
Yeah.
imagination. So,
Yeah.
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 And that mustache and goatee, helped.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, because you really give him a good role over here, verbally at least.
It was fun.
Yeah.
It was real fun. Yeah, those are fun scenes to do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it also puts April and her yeah, the whole role in perspective, I think, a scene like this.
Yes.
Yeah.
She's
Yeah.
gonna fight for the underdog and fight the evil.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And you just put back into the dungeon with Devon.
Yeah.
So
Yep.
yeah. So
Bring me back in there.
yeah.
I think so. That's when they first called me after I'd done so many shows at Universal, and they wanted me to come in, and they just said, "We know your work. We just want to see the chemistry between you and David. Come on in and let's see you read a scene together."
Yeah.
And we did, and we were, it was automatic, of course, and I think it was apparent to everyone in the room. And so then they just said, "We just need a little less glamour." So I went to my person. They said, "He is a computer expert after all." And I said, "How is this?" And they said, "Great. April will wear glasses from now on." So they just became a part of her character. Yeah.
Oh, that's fantastic. So
Yeah.
so
I
the
wore
very
glasses in second grade, I'll have you know. So
yeah. Okay. Yeah. So,
I always had bad eyesight. Actually, they put me in contact lenses in third grade. So yeah.
Last quote here, but you can't sing, can you? I think That's of course very funny because David went on to have a huge, at least in Germany, which is
Yeah,
only 100 kilometers from where I live,
yeah,
a huge singing career,
yes, he did.
and a huge career of all in Germany and Austria and
Yes,
Switzerland.
yes, very.
But I think that was a very funny remark. Um, so any other words on acting with David? We haven't talked very much about him.
I love David. I always have, always will. And I just, it was a joy working together. And you've brought back some wonderful memories today. And so I thank you for that.
Fantastic,
Yeah.
fantastic. That's great. Okay, that
Thank you for
was
that
yeah,
you listen.
that was all. And
Conversation, memories that you sparked.
yeah, that's good. I hope that there was some good memories in this for you.
Absolutely.
Maybe as a round off, Rebecca, a few
Mhm.
words on because after season 2 we don't see you anymore. Can you talk about what happened? Um,
Well, I was very young at that time, and my career was ruled by managers and agents and so on, and they were getting some very lucrative offers from other places, and a lot of times managers and agents will go where the money is rather than
yeah,
where your own personal heart may lie.
yeah,
So
yeah,
and as we grow and we be, take charge of our own lives, we make our own decisions. But at that time, I really didn't, and I sort of followed what I was told.
yeah.
So hopefully, we grow up and become more in command of our own lives.
That's great. Yeah, and Rebecca, today I think, and I think that all viewers as well are aware that you are a very huge asset. You mentioned the car show you were at. You visit conventions, you interact with fans. Yeah,
Yes,
in a
I tried
fantastic manner.
wonderful events, Jacob, and it's
Yeah, yeah,
always a joy to go and to meet person to person,
yeah,
face to face
yeah,
with the fans and the lovers of the show.
yeah.
We share that bond of having this show that's very beloved to all of us and that we treasure. And so those I look forward to those. I have a lot of them coming up. So hopefully I'll see you at another one again and see many of your viewers. In
Yeah.
fact, I'll give you a little announcement that uh, may be coming up. You know Joe Huth of the Knight Rider historians.
Yes,
They're
yes.
restoring. He spent, I think he said 4 years or 5, I don't know, restoring the semi, and they're going to have the big reveal at RetroCon, and that's in September. So, among the many other events I'll be going to upcoming, that'll be one that he invited me to come to that one. So, I think they're working out the logistics, but if that all works out, I'll look forward to seeing all the fans there. Yeah, that'll be a
That would
big.
be smashing. He's revealing the restored semi. Yeah.
Yeah,
And with Rebecca Holden, yeah, yeah,
so
just a dream come true, I would say, to go to yeah, I think it's RetroCon in Pennsylvania, isn't it?
that's correct. That's
Yeah,
right.
yeah,
I
fantastic.
think September 12th and 13th.
12th, yeah, 12th and
Look,
13th. Yeah,
everybody
I know
out
because I know it's the twins' birthday here.
Oh,
And I have already had some of my good friends from the US asking me, "Are you coming over, Jacob?" And unfortunately, I can't.
unless you bring them too.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, don't mention that to them.
Birthday present, right?
That would be a fantastic birthday present. Yeah, yeah.
Uh,
So
yeah.
fantastic, Rebecca. Thanks
Thank
so much for doing this. Thanks so much for engaging with fans and thanks for telling us all these great memories you have from Knight Rider. You are keeping the show and this hobby alive when you do this. So thanks so much.
Thank you so much. And I'm just grateful to all of your fans, your viewers of your podcasts that you do like this. And you are definitely making a difference by bringing this to all of them. I know that sharing these memories, is a joy for them. And so you're responsible for that. So gratitude to you as well. And sending lots of love and big hugs to all of your viewers out there. And thank you for continuing to go out and make a difference in this world. And it's just a privilege for me and an honor to know that I was just a small part of this show that has that legacy of inspiring people to do just that, to make a difference. So,
Thanks so much, Rebecca. Fantastic way to end this. Thanks.